Hey guys, welcome back to Beast Quest, and here we are with Book 2 of Series 28, Styx Styx the Lurking Terror. So, we're now on Book 2 of Series 28, guys, and like always, in-depth story analysis and then my overall thoughts on this epic adventure. So if you haven't already, make sure you've read this book before watching this review, unless you guys don't care for spoilers. So that being said, let's get to it. Our heroes were about to head off to face the next beast when the evil spies of Malvel, as in the birds, those evil birds that I mentioned in the last book, flew over, the Janus birds. Our heroes had to stay down to avoid them. Our heroes were able to avoid them, of course, and our heroes wandered towards the location of where the next beast was supposed to be. However, they came across some blinding flowers that made it hard to see for Tom. Eleanor escorted him away from the flowers. However, they ended up at some sentient vines. They escaped, however, despite Tom regaining his sight. He had lost Eleanor. Tom had found Eleanor, captured in the vines. She was affected by the flowers too, so he rescued her by chopping them down. He gave her some water to heal her sight, and our heroes, despite the protests of Zarlo, the map, continued on their journey, finding the axe of Katya. They arrived on they carried on via raft to locate the next warrior, until they were halted by a stranger. Our heroes discovered it was Katya. She told them when she got here, she met Styx. She ran off hiding from the beast, and our group began observing the area until Styx showed up. It made it difficult to fight him in his habitat. Suddenly, he destroyed half the raft and captured Eleanor. Eleanor was dragged underwater. Tom wanted to send Katya home for her safety. She denied him that, and Eleanor was revealed to be alive. She explained she had escaped and came up with a plan alongside Tom to use the remaining half of the raft as bait to lure Styx out. However, if they did this, they would have no transport. But they did it anyway. They set off the other half of the raft off to Styx, and of course he destroyed it. And Tom faced Styx, got his ass kicked, and he was facing Styx underwater. This made him lose the fight, and Styx pressed on, preparing for another attack. At this point, it was revealed that Styx was an egotistical / cunning beast at this point. Also, it just begged the question of why Eleanor and Katya weren't helping at this point until the next chapter, which we're about to get into. But whatever. Tom is saved by Eleanor and Katya. Finally, a bit late, but whatever. They plan a new attack, but realize Styx stole his belt. Tom, as in his jewel one. Tom attempted to rodeo the beast, however it backfired and made Tom get swallowed. Tom, refusing death, plunged his sword into Styx's mouth for air. He caused Styx to vomit. Tom got sent out, and our heroes dragged him to safety. This also caused Styx to get sick and unwilling to fight. Katya wanted to finish off Styx. Tom spared his life, as killing was wrong, which is debatable in some notes. Styx returned his belt because he was free from the spell. Due to an act of mercy, they sent Katya, leaving our heroes, on their quest to the next beast. So, yeah, the story is pretty much more straightforward compared to Osiron, but that Osiron's, got to deal with the exposition of what the story is. But for this one, it's more of, now it's got the ball rolling, it's more very straightforward what it is. Locate where we need to go next. Go ahead. Find the next character that we're supposed to save. Team up with that character, but there was a nice change there. Where, they sent that character off back to safety, and then they fight the beast. No, here they team up with that character to beat this beast, which is debatable, but still it gets the job done, and it ends really nicely. So, on a story level, I would say Osiron is better, and I'll get to the reason why right now. This is because, for me, Osiron I find as a better book is because on a story level, it doesn't contain any plot holes. Where Styx does. Styx's plot hole the big one is, why didn't Eleanor and Katya help Tom while he was underwater? Because Katya herself said she wanted to stay and help, and Eleanor, what we see later on, she's not really injured in the book. She may have been exhausted, but she still was able to fight and carry on. So the big plot hole is that, whereas it did something similar happen to this with Osiron. Only with Osiron there was an excuse because Osiron was injured, and that's why he was in the background. So it is kind of confusing then why they had no reason whatsoever why Eleanor and Katia were put in the background until the they were needed for the next chapter. But it just felt like they could have helped them underwater, and they chose not to for whatever reason. I feel like there should have been like, if you're gonna do that, there should have been like an explanation of why they weren't helping. Where like Eleanor was injured or Katia, had to go and get something for him. There could have been an excuse, but there was none at all. Anyway, though, onto the characters. Tom. Tom is doing the main work once again in this story. He's fighting. He's the one who has a little back and forth with Katia. Eleanor is more used as once again a plot device, which we'll get to, which is kind of sad. But he's the one who fights the beast mainly through. He does get his butt kicked, but it's his plan that defeats Styx. So it's mainly Tom doing everything in this book, really. The only thing that Eleanor did was lead him away from the flowers, which isn't saying much. And of course, that's all that she really did in this book. So Eleanor was kind of shafted this one. Speaking of Eleanor, yeah, there's not much to say. All she did was lead Tom away from the flowers. Then she got, I think, taken out Peg. She needed rescuing, like, I think, twice. But, overall, it was kind of a shame that Eleanor's getting, like, the back burner here. But I suppose it makes sense to make way for new characters. But even still, those new characters are kind of getting shafted. But Katia, as a character, as we'll get into right now, I like her. Only because that she's the one who's more rebellious. She denies going back. She wants to help. And I think her assistance did pay off, as with her aid, they were able to do a lot more to the beast than I expected them to. So I do appreciate that, but it does kind of shaft Nolan, but whatever. So Katia, pretty good. I do like her. Zorlo, there's not much to say about him. He's basically stick to his usual formula. He's like the Jar Jar of the Beast Quest, and you know who Jar Jar Binks is. He's basically that type of character. I'm hoping at the end of this series or the next one he gets reverted to his wizard form or whatever, and then gets sent back to Avantia, because this character I could do without, that's just me. But, because he's mainly luring our heroes into danger or trying to piss them off, which is just is what they don't really need that right now. So, he's one of the, if you want to consider him as a mentor, he's not really one of the best ones. Styx himself, the beast, very intelligent, very cunning. He's treating it like a game just to get his food. Because once you enter his territory, he sees like a challenge. So he kind of reminds me of someone like Shan Yu in a way from Disney. But, I do like him. And then he shows mercy and compassion too when he gets defeated, because that's how the spells work, apparently. After I've seen that when you defeat a beast and show an act of mercy, the spell is broken. So that's, and it's debatable if that was the same case with Poseidon, but for this one, okay. Overall, I'd say Styx is a pretty good book. It does have the potential to be the best, but because of that one flaw it has in the story, I would have to say Osiron is better. If it wasn't for that, I would say Styx is pretty much perfect, because it was able to improve on the companion stuff more than Nolan did, and Osiron. But overall, Styx, great book. I am really happy how it came out, and I'm looking forward to see how the series progresses when I get the other two books. So thank you for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed how this review came out. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe for the good stuff, hit the notification bell right corner down below, so you can stay tuned for all Beast Quest related topics on the channel and various other content that you can find here. So next, like always, peace out.